Hello, my name is Wayne Huls, and my wife Ann and I have been members here at St. Helens for almost 2 years. I'd like to share with you how God has impacted my life with hope. And the story starts 20 years ago when I was going through a divorce. In meeting with a priest friend of mine, I just at one point snapped and really expressed my frustration, anger, and disappointment, not only with myself, the church, and everything around me. And after I'd completed my tirade, Father Kevin looked at me and he said, well, I'd be willing to help you through this process, but I'd really like to ask you first that whenever you're mad, angry, or frustrated or upset, just go ahead and read the story of the prodigal son and contemplate God's love and mercy. And he says, I'll call you in a few weeks and follow up and see how you're doing. And so we met several weeks later, and his first question for me was whether or not I had read the story. And my reply was, would you like me to recite it for you? Because I had read it more times than I care to admit. And during the same time, I come to find out that my job would be eliminated as of the end of the year, and I would need to find a new job in a rather challenging job environment. And so Father Kevin really listened to me and helped me, but I'd never really contemplated the Bible. And I'd read it in the past, but in contemplating the Bible, it really forced me to think about what I could and should learn from the story. And we can all see ourselves in the sin of either son, whether it be, the more obvious sin of the younger son who moved away or the pride of the elder son. And so as the story goes, at some point in time, the son returns and he reconciles with the father. And through this process, it really helped me spiritually grow to where I knew I needed to change. And along the way, Father also helped me. I had expressed the desire to get an annulment and hopefully at some time remarry within the church and have a good Catholic wedding and marriage. Some years later, I did meet Ann, and as our relationship deepened, she was much like me, a cradle Catholic who had divorced, and as our relationship deepened, she sought out an annulment and was granted that, and we were engaged and were prepared to be married. And in the process, Father asked us, is there anything that you would like to share in terms of a message in your wedding? And we looked at each other and immediately both said, yes, the value of a sacramental marriage, because we realized what we had not experienced in our first marriage. So at our wedding, Father homily spoke very bluntly about the fact that we were both previously married, divorced, and had sought out annulment. And the reason being, we really wanted to have a sacramental marriage. And what is an annulment process? What is a sacramental marriage within the church versus just a civil marriage? Needless to say, we had a number of family and friends who asked us afterwards if we knew what he was going to say. And the honest answer is, we didn't know exactly what he was going to say, but we trusted what he would say. And this really brings me back to the entire story of the prodigal son. And most frequently, people overlook what I call the fourth character in the prodigal son, and that is the servant. And the servant really served as the person to allow the elder son to understand the love of the father and understand the mercy that he was providing by wanting to have this huge festival for his son returning to him. And the son understood this and really become to accept the love of the father as to also the love of the son. And this has really sparked in me an interest to continue to grow in understanding of the scripture. Not only that, is externally it's helped because I realized the servant that Father was in really leading me to this story. And that then has led to the last 20 years of really enjoying a lot of activities within the church. And both Ann and my spiritual life is not only prayer, sacrament, and service, but also understanding how that service shows the love of God to others. So I would encourage people to, if you have an interest in being of service, to be that fourth person in the prodigal son and be of service to the church in whatever role you may have, and really live the life of being a joyful disciple and bringing Christ to others.